Hello, friends, and welcome to this week's episode of Dark Side of the Word. My name is Kate, and I'm here with my lovely, lovely co host, CJ.
Why, thank you for that. Hello, everybody.
And this week's episode is all about the content we've ravenously consumed in the past month since ish that we talked to you guys because we had that weird skip. Apologize to not give you guys a fair warning, but there were 5 weeks in August.
Man,
And
fuck this all up.
yeah, we only have enough content for 4 weeks. So if that happens again, we'll either skip it or maybe Kate will be brave enough to ask for a guest someday.
Ooh, or you could do like a solo show or something and just like do outtakes or something.
Oh, hell no. I am never recording solo. No, no.
Okay. So we will probably just skip that one
Skip.
then. Yeah.
I have dreams, okay? I'm voicing this into the universe, so maybe they'll come true.
Yes. Okay.
But yes, we have so much content to talk about. I have some couple of exciting movies that I wanted to mention on here. I know CJ has a long list. I think we're really excited. Anything else you want to say before we just jump right in?
I'm just going to give a disclaimer that as we're recording, a massive thunderstorm looks like it's approaching outside my window. So if anybody hears like a huge clap of thunder, I apologize.
You could have just pulled it off as our spooky like sound effects.
It is very like apropos for this season coming up, I feel. So I think it just adds a little bit of like atmosphere and tension to the podcast. You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome.
It's like perfect. I swear, as soon as Labor Day passed, everyone put out their fall stuff. I was waiting.
I haven't done it.
I'm talking about the stores. I expected the stores to have their fall stuff in August, but they legit waited until after Labor Day, which I found extremely weird because now I'm in a rush to buy all the pumpkin scented shit out there.
Yeah, things have been up here since July. I saw stuff for Halloween marked down already because it's September, so it's time to have Halloween on sale, time to roll out Christmas. I saw like empty aisles prepared for Christmas stuff. So, yeah, that's how we roll in Jersey, apparently.
You're scaring me because I'm supposed to go shopping with my friend this weekend and spend all her money on Halloween decorations.
Nope. Well, you're on a different coast, so maybe you're normal over there. So I have hopes for you finding something nice. But over here, no, my chances come and gone. It's a good thing I have enough fall crap as it is. So I'm good.
Well, I'm going to give a PSA on pumpkin shit. I fell for one of those Miss Myers hand soaps at the store yesterday. And I thought it smelled amazing. Lo and behold, I get home and start using it. And it has a men's cologne after smell to it.
Oh.
And it clings to your hands for hours.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's the acorn spice. In the store, I was like, oh, this smells so good. It has that spicy, like, fall scent. Did not smell the cologne after shave bullshit at the end. And then I get home and I'm washing my hands and I'm like, damn it. And Miss Myers is fucking expensive. Like,
that is an investment.
I don't have a heart to go to my husband and be like, honey, I want to throw this whole bottle of soap away.
Did you get it from Target? Because you could probably like return it to Target. They take a lot of stuff. We bought like vitamin gummies the other day and we opened it and it smelled so horrible. I don't know if it's just how they smell or if it was a bad batch, but it was horrific. And so we returned it. And the lady at Target is like, is there anything wrong with it? I'm like, honestly, I'm just going to tell you, we opened this thing, but it smells so horrible that we cannot keep this in the house. And she's like, okay, no problem. I'm like, awesome. Very awesome. So take a look.
I did buy it from Target, but I don't have the heart to do that. The vitamins make sense. I would do that, but like this is my own preferences preventing me.
I just say you're allergic to it, which is not that far from the truth. Not being able to tolerate something for being allergic, kind of hand in hand sometimes.
I didn't check to see if it had gluten in it. So if it has gluten, there you go.
There you go.
My
it's
return.
A health hazard. You're just returning what is a health hazard from your home. So really, it's okay. Try it.
All right. Maybe I will. Let's see. I'll wash my hands one more time. Okay, one more. See how.
All right. Have fun. Godspeed.
But I recommend no one get it unless you like men's aftershave clinging to you for hours.
Do you smell like an Abercrombie and Fitch?
Honestly, yes.
Oh, I kind of like it a little bit, but not that much. Not enough. Not enough that I would want it all the time on me.
I want to say I watched it on Hulu, but I'm not 100% sure. It could have been Netflix, but they have the Abercrombie and Fitch documentary now.
Oh, God. No, I refuse. I can't.
It was really good because it talks about like it goes into like why we were obsessed, why the company failed, what was wrong with it, the discrimination policies they're having. It was really insightful and good, and it's interesting now that I see it pop Abercrombie Fitch popping up in all the malls again.
Yeah, it's becoming big again.
But they're different. Have you been in one?
I have no, because I am 40, so no, I have not been in one. I feel like I would need a kid to go into that now.
Well, I go in there. I've bought stuff.
You're younger than me. It's okay.
Not by much.
Enough, enough. Where they're not like, who's that old bitch coming into our store without a child?
I'm still in my early 30s, so.
Yeah, I can't say that anymore. Oh my God. Okay, okay.
I'm clinging to this. Okay. Well, I'm going to let you keep talking. Why don't you do your books first? Let's let everyone know what you've been reading.
Okay.
And they maybe can get inspired for their next book.
Well, I hate to break it to them, but they are not going to be inspired because I have been reading a lot of books lately, but I really don't have much to talk about because I feel like I have been reading a lot of books that are just meh, like mediocre. They're not bad, but they're not wowing me either. So I just haven't been able to lose myself in a book for a while or recommend something. I'm going to be reviewing all the books I've read lately on the blog in the coming months, so I'm not going to talk about them here. But one book I will talk about that I did read is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I used to be a Riley Sager fan. Yes, I know you would be cackling at this because, Kait, I am on board with you now because The Only One Left was, as you put it, very vanilla. Very vanilla. Just the writing wasn't as good as in his previous books, and the story was just, again, kind of meh, just kind of played out. You know, it was based on the Lizzie Borden tale, which I find fascinating. So I was expecting something a little sharper, a little darker, and it just really let me down. You know, there was a really good series about Lizzie Borden years ago starring Christina Ricci, who was perfect for playing
I saw that.
Lizzie Borden. It was like on Lifetime or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And that was so dark and twisted. I guess I was expecting something a bit more like that. And The Only One Left just didn't deliver on that note. So I found it disappointing. It wasn't bad, just disappointing for me. So I wouldn't recommend it necessarily.
So I read, I believe, because there's so many books of this town now, but The Final Girl.
I didn't read that one by him.
I think it was his first one as Riley Sager, I want to say. Because remember, he changed his name. For all those that are listening that do not know, Riley Sager...
Lock Every Door was first, I think.
No.
No.
Okay. We are Google checking this, everyone. Because I read Lock Every Door after... Yeah, no. It is...
Okay.
We know this is gonna have to happen at some point. Okay, we're looking it up. So Final Girls came out in 2017.
Oh, okay.
Lock Every Door came out in 2019.
Huh. So the Final Girls book by him came out way before a lot of the other Final Girl books that have been coming out lately.
Yes.
Interesting. I didn't know he was leading the charge.
Yes. So it was my first time reading a story like that too, about, the final girl that survives like a serial killer situation.
Yeah.
So I read that book. Like I said, I believe it is still, I didn't look long enough, but his first book under that pseudonym. And I loved it. Obsessed. I read his next two books that came out because I pretty much read that in 2017. So I know I read Lock Every Door, and I read Last Time I Lied.
Didn't read
so it's 2018 and his 2019 books. Yeah, so I literally read them. Hated them. Again, really? I was agreeing. So vanilla, so boring. Lock Every Door especially, it was too much. I was like, I'm done. I'm so bored.
I was so not there original. For that one. I loved it. I loved the whole organ issue, like the transplant harvesting thing. I was not expecting that. It was totally a great twist for me. I love that one. That's what got me into Riley Sager. And then I read his other one after that was about something with a haunted house. Somebody goes back to her family home. I don't even remember the title. It was, again, kind of meh. And then I read that one with the house across the lake, which was like an amalgamation of like so many different types of stories with like, the woman across the window, across the street kind of thing with like, the unreliable narrator and the drunk who thinks she sees something but actually does or doesn't she. And then there was this weird supernatural twist to it where it just came out of nowhere, but not in a good way. It came out of nowhere. Just ridiculous. And then that's when I kind of started, losing some respect for those books. And now I just think after The Only One Left, that's going to be my last Riley Sager for quite a while, unfortunately.
Yeah, Lock Every Door was the Liz Nugent for me. Like you
Oh.
had with Strange Silence. That's how I felt about it. And to me, it's like he is overhyped. Like everyone says, Emily Henry is overhyped. Everyone's bashing Emily Henry now.
Huh.
And I only read two of her books, or two of her adult romance books, because I read her YA book. And I really like both of the adult books, so I don't understand why people think she's just overdone. It's romance. It's all overdone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think her newest one, people were disappointed with it. I forget why, but everybody, they can't all be bestsellers. They can't all be wonderful works of fiction. When you're churning them out like this, at this rate, like some of them are bound to be not so great,
Is that the one that was Book Lovers? Was that her
No.
newest one, or did she have one more? Okay.
I know what, Happy something? Happy?
Oh, Happy Place or
Happy
thing?
Place, maybe? It wasn't,
Maybe.
There was The Beach, The People You Meet on Vacation. I did not read the beach one. I read The People You Meet on Vacation. I read the Book Lovers one. And those are the only two I read. I liked both of them very much. I thought she's really good with dialogue, very good with banter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really, if you're looking to write good dialogue, she's absolutely somebody that I think people should look to. But I haven't read her latest one because I'm kind of over rom-coms for a little while, so I'm taking a break. But yeah, can't all be winners.
It's the time to take a break. Because, everyone, it's my October reading challenge time.
Yes.
I'm so excited. So by the time this podcast comes out, I will have my October reading list on my blog. So if anyone wants to join in to my October reading list, I want to say I have like 8 books. I know that's a lot. I have 8 books with 3 reserved because in case I have to DNF some, I'm really going into some far off places with this book list.
Okay.
But I'm going to calculate the number of pages I have to read and how many pages I have to read every day to get it done.
Look at you. So strict about it. I like it.
I want to achieve this. I tried last year and I feel that I got pretty decently far, but I don't remember how far. And I wanted to share. So I'm going to document the whole thing on Instagram too. I'm being very, what's the word? This is the kind of day we're having.
I feel like we've said that many times now, and this is just days for us. This is days.
This is the podcast.
This is life.
Honestly,
this is the podcast.
Yep. And it's not going to change. Every day is this kind of day. It's because we use all our words when we write.
Yes.
Okay? Our word tanks are
We do
empty.
not write like we speak. Just take it for our word. We do not write like we speak.
But yes, I want to keep saying adventurous, and it's wrong because it's just like, I'm tackling this. I'm going to be on top of it. I am planning it a month. I've been planning it like for a month and a half out. So
you're being
good.
drill sergeant-y is what you're being.
Yes, I already made sure they're all available at the library. We are ready to go. Okay.
You're ready for spooky season.
Yes. So if anyone would like to join in, I have it all on the blog, my October reading list. They can join in. They can join in for certain books. I'm going to probably read them in the order I've listed them. So if you do want to follow along, and yeah, I'm really excited.
I will definitely be checking out your list, but I will probably not be following along because I have my own spooky book reading list that I'm making for October. So as everybody knows, I love supernatural horror. So in October, I allow myself to only read scary stories the entire month. And I look forward to it like Kate does every single month. I've also already started compiling my list. I have between 8 and 10 books on there. I started requesting them from the library already. And most of them are like haunted house type stories because those are my favorite. Even though there are a lot of the same type of thing, like, a family moves into a new house and something creepy happens. I love it. I will read it all the time. Even if it's like a D, graded book, I will still read it anyway because it's about a haunted house. So I'm very excited to read those.
So listeners, if you have your own reading list for October, sound off in the comments. Let us know what they are. I really want to know because if it's not on my reading list this month,
The title of this episode is blah blah blah.
Blah blah. But sound off in the comments. Let us know if it's not on my reading list this month or CJ's. We might add it next year. Like we need more books. Like we need to know what to read for next year. And I feel like we should make a promise to our listeners that October and November recaps are going to be talking about our reads. October
Absolutely.
reads?
I will definitely be talking about my October reads because I usually, when I read these books for Halloween in October, I don't review them on the blog because, after a while, writing a book review for every single book kind of takes the joy out of it. So since I'm not going to be reviewing them on my blog, I will definitely be talking about them here.
Well, I'm not going to be doing that. I am going to stockpile reviews and probably try to post them all.
Oh,
Post them
there's
all, post them
thunder.
all.
Did you
It's
hear
the
the
universe
thunder?
telling me not to do that. Yes, I did. It was the
Very,
universe,
very
honestly.
creepy and very appropriate for our topic. I love it.
So I'm so excited though, and maybe you should share your list on your blog so people can also follow up.
I guess I could do that. I will share it on social media. I will share it on social
Okay.
media.
I
As a
will tell our
compromise.
listeners because we also want to support writers out there. If you have a blog, lists do really well.
Noted. I know. But I've planned my content already, and I don't want to mess up my schedule because I've already moved it around
Okay.
5 times, and I am a creature of habit. So
Okay.
yes,
Put it on
social media.
Yes, and if you want to check it out, her social media link. Oh, I hear that again. Her social media link is in the notes below, so you can go check it out.
You wanted authentic for the podcast. This is an authentic New Jersey thunderstorm happening live right now. Isn't it exciting?
All right.
Okay.
So books. Oh, I haven't even talked about my books because I
Talk
just
about
went
your
on a
books.
rant
Talk
there.
about your
Okay.
books.
So I read a couple of books. Blah, blah. Yes. God damn it.
Thank you for tuning in to blah, blah, blah. Oh, man, that was a big flash of lightning. This is going to be a humdinger coming through. It's a good thing you're talking. Talk.
I read The Four Monkey Killer based on a recommendation from a friend. It is extreme.
They can't hear that, though.
I will just end up editing these out. Probably
okay,
not.
that's probably helpful.
It is very police procedural, which is a no for me. I am so over the police procedural books where it's from a detective's perspective to solve the murder.
Yeah.
So I feel bad because she's obsessed with this whole series, and I wanted to love it because, especially being a friend, I wanted to like it for her. However, I really didn't like it. It was different in the sense that they included these journal entries from the killer so we could kind of understand his background, and there was this twist with his background, and you have a little bit of sympathy for the guy, and they tried to make his killings appear as if he was only going after the bad people, but honestly, it was boring. Mm-hmm. It's a trilogy because we're gonna figure something out from his past, so we don't even catch the killer at the end. The cop is made to look a certain way and have sympathy for him, but I'm just over it.
I feel like after the show Broadchurch that was in the UK, which was a police procedural, it was with David Tennant and Olivia Colman, I think her name is.
Okay.
It was fantastic. That was just the epitome of a police procedural where you have all these key players, everybody's a main character, there's tension, there's drama, there's emotion. After that, a lot of these types of stories just fall flat for me because it was so well done. They made an American version called Grace Point, I believe, but it was not nearly as good because we had 2 fantastic actors in the UK version. You can't really beat that.
And then I finally got my grubby little paws on the book that everyone is freaking out about. Can you guess what it is?
Fourth Wing? Is that what it's called?
Yes, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Oh. Why do you sound upset?
Because I wanted to hate it. I didn't want to be on the bandwagon.
Somebody
I wanted to
the
see
Kool-Aid.
what was wrong. Yes, and I gave it 5 stars.
5 stars. That is high praise indeed.
It's good. Holy crap. It's good. It has all the things that you want in a story to fall in love with it. The beginning's rough. Okay, I'm not going to lie. The beginning's a little rough. It takes a hot minute to really get into the lead character. What's very interesting is she has a disability, which plays a large part into the story. I am not going to say anything on it because I don't even know what it's called, but it's a real thing. It has to do with her ligaments and getting really injured really easily and all this stuff. And I believe if you read the author bio and whatever. It's based on what the author does have in real life.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I love that because it becomes a huge part in the story. And as everyone knows, it's about dragon riding. That's not.
Oh, I did not know that. So I'm not everyone apparently. But okay, dragon riding, like in Avatar.
Yes.
Was that dragon
really
riding?
Go to Avatar for that's your comment for dragon riding.
Well, there's
not
also
like
How to Train
Aragon.
Your Dragon.
Yes,
Aragon.
thank you.
What's Aragon?
What rock have you lived under?
A big one, apparently. What is that?
Aragon.
I've not heard of Aragon.
Aragon is like this huge, like 4-book series that like swept the nation after Harry Potter.
Is it fantasy?
Yeah, and they made a movie about it.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I've only gotten into fantasy a little bit since I met you.
Well,
reluctantly so.
Once the dragon showed up in the book and you hear their snarky bullshit throughout the book, does this thing just become a life of its own? And holy crap, did it turn amazing at that point.
Okay.
It's really good. The end was not surprising. Okay, my one comment is she foreshadows everything way too obviously. Like, it's just, like, in your face, like, middle grade. Like, okay, yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen next. Like, it's so obvious.
Is this YA or is it adult?
No, it's adult.
It's adult? Okay.
Yeah. It's adult, but it is still so good. Like, the characters become their own thing. And it's, like, 600 pages, and I didn't want it to end.
Oh, hefty. Hefty.
Yeah. I already pre-ordered the next book.
Oh, makes you a huge fan now.
And I already bought the first book already too. I had a library copy. Yeah, I'm a super fan now.
But that's awesome. That's awesome, though. I love it when you find a book that that resonates with you so much that you cannot wait to keep reading. You don't want to put it down. You want to read the next one immediately. So that is fantastic that you found such a great book.
Dude, it sat with me for days. Like, I had already picked up a new book. I was moving on, and my brain kept being like, thinking it was going to pick up Fourth Wing again. Like, I can't wait to get back to the story. But now I have to wait till November. But I actually am not going to be able to read till December.
This November? Is it
it
like
comes
2
out this
months
November.
from now?
But I won't be able to read till December, which I can't explain why now.
Okay. Oh. Wink, wink, nod, nod. I know why. Okay.
Yes, hopefully I can talk about that soon. I hate that. But I won't be able to actually sit down. And I'm already warning people that I'm going to take 2 days off. Do not talk to me. Like, I am going to be reading this. All I want are snacks, water. Like, make sure I have snacks and tea next to me. Keep me fueled. And don't talk to me for 2 days.
Could you possibly get your hands on an audiobook version and listen to it while you were doing things?
I don't want to ruin it by listening to it.
I hear you.
I want to read it, okay? And I really want 2 days just to just shut
absorb
up and read it.
Okay.
Yes. But yeah, so I'm a fan. I didn't want to be, but I am.
That's okay. There's plenty of people right there with you.
Sometimes the world gets it right. They got it right this time.
They do. It's nice to hear. It's nice to hear.
I don't think you'd like it. You're not a fantasy reader.
Probably not. Probably not. I'm over the dragons. I'm over a lot of the fantasy stuff.
I thought I was too, but it's so good. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. We've talked about books enough. Are we ready to talk about movies and TV shows?
Yes. I definitely have more of that to talk about.
At this rate, we're going to be a very long podcast, and that is not good for us.
Okay. So then what?
If anyone read Fourth Wing or anything else interesting, sound off. I want to start conversations about books. I want this, as another podcast says, talk to us, we'll talk back.
Exactly.
I want to start talking to our listeners, so comment. Let us know what you've read. I want to get more recommendations. Did you like Fourth Wing? And don't forget, if you want to join into our book club reading for September, last Thursday of the month, we'll be reading Just Like Home by Sarah Galley.
Totally blanked about what book we're reading. I'm glad you remembered.
There's still time to join in, read the book, and listen in the last Thursday of the month. We can have community conversations. We can all talk about it. And if you want to help support us as fledgling creators and authors, you go to our bookshop affiliate links in the notes below to purchase your copy.
PSA. Gotta throw that PSA in there.
It comes at no extra cost to you. We just get a small kickback from the purchase.
Yes, which we desperately need.
Okay. What have you consumed visually?
Okay, visually, I have been consuming a lot, so that's probably why I'm disappointed with books, because nothing's really living up to what I'm watching on TV. Okay, so TV series. I have been making good use of my Max subscription, which is HBO Max merged with Discovery, so it's just Max now. So I have watched The Flight Attendant, I have watched The Undoing, and I have been watching And Just Like That. So
you watched Flight Attendant.
I did. I really liked it. So if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, The Flight Attendant is about a rather drunken woman who works as a flight attendant, obviously, and lives a very fast-paced, jet-setting lifestyle until she wakes up one night from like blackout drinking to find the man she went to bed with dead in bed beside her. And not just dead, murdered. Like full on, someone slit his throat while he was sleeping, murdered. And she has to figure out if she's the one who actually killed him or not, because she does not remember a GD thing. So this show, I thought, at least the first season, was so good. I loved how twisty and dark it was. I hadn't seen Kaylee Cuoco in anything else before. I didn't watch whatever show she was in that everybody loved. So this was my first time seeing her in something, and I was actually surprised at how good she was in the show. She really brought the character to life. And I'm also really curious now to read the book, The Flight Attendant by Chris Bojalian, I think is how you say his name. I'm used to seeing him write historical fiction, like The Hour of the Witch, which I loved. And I didn't really have him planned to be such like a fast-paced thriller kind of guy. So I really want to see now how much of the movie matches up with the book. Because I like it.
And I know like there's issues with season 2, especially because it really goes into like her drinking more. But yeah. I still think because I believe this is only a single book and they had to do all from scratch. I still think that, okay, we already did the premise. How are we going to continue the story on? And I think they did a great job. They still kept it kind of original without, like, because how do you pull it off again? And as far as my research is showing, they have not yet officially canceled the show, but they haven't also confirmed a third season.
Okay.
So I don't know. And now she's doing that other show and she just had a baby. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Yeah, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that there's another season, though. Because I love it.
I tried watching season 2, and I got maybe like 2 or 3 episodes in, and I wasn't feeling the vibe. I just wasn't into it.
Oh, it gets really good.
Really? It just seems so kind of random.
I agree, but just to like give a little bit of spoiler away, her friends show up. Like her
yeah, I
best
know.
friend.
That's the part where I got like annoyed with it.
Oh, because her best friend is hilarious, and like she is probably my favorite character.
I love her, but I did not like her in the second season. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. Okay. But I found other stuff to watch. That's okay.
Okay.
So, continuing, I watched The Undoing, which is based on another book as well, called You Should Have Known by Jean Hanff Korelitz. I cannot say that name easily. And she is the author of the book The Plot that came out a few years ago, and You Should Have Known is a book that came out probably about 10 years ago, I think. So The Undoing has Hugh Grant in it and Nicole Kidman. And Nicole Kidman plays a woman who thinks she has it all, and then she discovers that her husband has actually been having an affair with a woman who has just been murdered, and he may be the murderer. So I read this book about 10 years ago, so I don't remember a lot of the specifics of the book, but I really liked the show. I thought it was really good. It was really twisty. It kept me guessing about whether Hugh Grant was just misunderstood or just a douchebag, and I thought it was a good version. And I just like watching Hugh Grant in anything, even when he plays a douchebag, because I just loved him in Love Actually and all the rom-coms and stuff. So it was nice to see him on screen again. So I do recommend The Undoing if you're looking for like a short series. I think it's like 6 episodes, something like that.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't even heard about that one.
I only heard about it because another friend on Bookstagram had posted You Should Have Known. She reviewed the book. And she's like, oh, the show was so good. I'm like, what? They made a show of this? And she's like, oh, yeah, it's called this on Max. And I started watching it then because I did not know it was there before that. So thank you, Bookstagram friend, who I cannot remember because I would not have been able to watch it if not for you. And then the last thing I mentioned was And Just Like That, which is the continuation of the Sex and the City series. I started watching the first season when I was recovering from surgery, and I binged most of the second season this past weekend. And I really like it. I was a fan of the original show. I didn't watch it when it first came out, but like in college, the reruns, I watched it a lot. And I think that there's, a lot of the signature wit and the charm, a lot of the emotion that was in the original series. But I think they've really just enhanced it a bit too. I think, for lack of a better term, they've aged the characters and their storylines really well. Everything seems really appropriate for what people at that age would be dealing with and this time in society. And it's funny, and it's just, there's some new characters. There's a lot of sadness in the very first episode, though I will warn you, I was like bawling my eyes out. But if you like the original series and you like the first movie, the second movie we're all going to pretend just didn't exist, I think you'll like the show, and Just Like That show.
In my circle of people, you are the minority.
Really?
They hate the series. I think that they are unjustified to the characters. They think Carrie is the worst. They hate that, like, the whole podcast thing with Carrie. They think that they wrote it horribly and they're doing everyone a disservice. And
really?
It is and they're done. They're done. They wash their hands of it. They're not watching it anymore.
I completely disagree. I thought it was excellent.
And they are like Sex and the City, like, super fans.
Huh.
They hate it. Like, they hate it.
It is much more emotional than the original series is. Like, there's a lot more about death and about, like, medical conditions and aging. Like, it's not the happiest time of life, So it is heavier.
They don't even complain about that part. They complain about who Carrie is, and I don't know, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but there was this whole, like, her questioning Big, like, that just happened. And they're just that's the whole point of the show. And they don't like just the storylines or anything. They don't like who the people have become in the series.
I always found Carrie's relationship with Big to be toxic to begin with, like from the very beginning. Even when people are like, "Oh my God, it's so romantic," I'm like, "Are you fucking nuts? It's toxic as hell." But I think she stays true to who she is, because I never really thought that much of her to begin with, even though I like the show. So I think it just kind of, it's on par with who she is. And she was always kind of wishy-washy about certain things, too.
I tried, was it last year, I want to say, or the year before, to watch Sex and the City for the first time, and I gave up on season 3. So I have no skin in this game. I'm done.
Okay. Then
I'm
you
not a Sex
probably
and
should
City
not
fan.
watch And Just Like That. You will not enjoy it. You will not enjoy it.
I guess because what happened for a lot of people is adults watching Carrie hate her, supposedly, but, like, if you had watched her when you were in your early 20s, you would love her. That's what I've been hearing.
Like,
and now I'm older.
Even though I'm not the age that she is, I'm a couple years, a good decade or so younger, I still feel like I can relate to.
You mean 2 decades?
Almost 2 decades.
I thought she was 55. In her 60s.
No, she's like 55 or 56. So 15 years, which is a nice gap. But I still feel like I can relate to some of the storylines a bit better now that I'm older and not, like, in my 20s or 30s. So I guess I kind of like it for that. I'm an old soul, really. So that's probably why I enjoy it.
Okay.
Okay, so that is my shows, and I have talked a lot. So, Kate, I think you should talk about your shows now before we go to movies.
Oh my goodness, the podcast is going to be forever.
It's okay. People love us. They will listen. Right, everybody? You're going to keep listening.
Okay, my turn. All right. I actually have a really cool movie to announce. So, actor, director, writer, friend of mine finally got his movie on Amazon. It's called...
That's awesome.
Exactly. I'm really excited. It's called Dying to Sleep. It's his first major production that he wrote and directed. We're talking very, very B, so just grain of salt, friends. But taking that into account, this being his first film, I thought it was fantastic. It had a great twist at the end. Like I said, it's available to rent on Amazon, Dying to Sleep. But I just love to finally see someone in the industry doing something big and going for it. And so I was really excited to support him. I actually met him in January filming in a different movie that I did sound for. So I did sound for a different movie that my husband was also starring in, and he was the lead in the movie. So
know that?
Yeah, and not my husband, the guy who made this movie.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I got to meet him, because my husband was, like, shooting him.
Okay.
And he was the hitman that was trying to kill him. Mm-hmm. So us in the woods with a gun, it was great. It was great.
Surprised you didn't get the cops called on you or something.
Exactly. So, but I ran sound for that, and it was just really great to, like, see and support someone in the industry.
That's awesome.
Like I said, actually had a really fun twist at the end. It's like on the spooky side. It's about this girl who can't sleep, and she has a condition and it's making her hallucinate and kind of see things, and then she ends up going to this like holistic doctor and trying to work through it. And yeah, is she seeing things or are they real? I'll just put that out there.
I am going to watch that because I too have insomnia and I feel with that title.
Just remember, like, watch it with B level eyes.
Okay.
But I still loved it for that kind of film. I thought they did a fantastic first film, low budget. Also, the guy who plays the dad in Babylon is in the movie. So they got like a pretty big name in it. He plays like the doctor. So I was impressed. I also saw Oppenheimer.
Okay. What do you think?
So I was not the person to go see this movie at all. Like, at all. It was a very bad idea.
You have bad dreams afterward.
No, it's just I don't know what I expected. I mean, clearly this is going to be about the atom bomb and nuclear weapons, and I knew that going in.
It's not a happy film.
And I knew that going in. But one, I expected it to be a bit more scientific.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking about like Einstein, Oppenheimer, Bohr, all this. Like, I expected it to be more scientific than it was. Okay. And I did not expect it to be a political game. Like, the whole movie is essentially the politics around it, and Oppenheimer running the building in his little town that he built in Arizona or New Mexico, wherever it was, and all this stuff. And I also did not expect myself to have a visceral reaction to the film.
What did you throw up? You can tell us.
No, but I left the theater and just wanted to cry my eyes out because it's just like
it's a heavy topic.
It's not that they paint nuclear weapons in a positive light, and they make it very clear in the movie that we probably didn't have to drop it on Japan. Like, they make a stance, they make it very clear, but just all around it. Like, at one side, you want to applaud the scientists who were doing this because they thought they were doing it for the good of mankind. And two, scientific exploration is my number one. Like, I'm all for this. I'm all for it. So I want to applaud them. And these are names that I like grew up learning about and have such high esteem for. Like, if you go through the names and the people featured in the movie, like, I have high esteem for these people. And just to see all this and to see it's not that they had joy around creating this, but that scientific discovery and the experimentation of it. So it's hard to weigh that with what they were creating and what it did and the damage and the fallout and all this stuff. And so I walked away from the movie going, I hate this is the worst movie ever, and just bawling my eyes out for the whole night. But I think it was more because I had a visceral reaction and not that the movie was in any way, I would say, bad. Except for the fact that I expected it to be more scientific than it was, and it became just pretty much a political fight through the whole movie.
Yeah, I have no urge to see Oppenheimer. I don't like bombs. I don't like science. I don't like politics. So, like, just a lot of things that I'm not going to enjoy in that movie. So
it's also over 3 hours. I want to say it's like 3.5 hours.
And that's the sinker. Yeah, there's just no reason I'm going to pay money to go sit in a theater learning about all that stuff for 3 hours, or sit at home and do that either, because I have other things to watch. So, yeah. But I'm sorry, it was a traumatic experience for me.
And then I got into a huge fight with my husband because he kept saying how amazing the movie was, and I'm pretty sure it was. And I'm just sitting here like, how dare they make this? How it's so horrible, and they painted it in this light, and there's such a political... Yeah, he's probably right. I'm wrong. I apologize later, but yeah, it doesn't mean I didn't go down his throat to strangle him about, like, how dare you like this movie?
A friendly marital spat over a movie you watched. Love it. Love it.
However, on the flip side, I did watch We Have Ghosts on Netflix.
Oh.
I think it's getting a lot of flack, but I personally loved it. It was hilarious. It was endearing. It was sweet. It was definitely a must watch. The dialogue is great in it. It's just fun because it's essentially about this family that moves into a haunted house and they find their ghost. And what do you do when you find a ghost in your house in today's day and age, essentially?
Call Ghostbusters.
Or call your local medium and become a millionaire. But
there you go.
It's really adorable. I thought that they did a great job. It's just it reminded me of the good 90s movies we used to watch. The pacing, the plot, the love of it, the kind of like Mrs. Doubtfire, like the things that we grew up. It was so nostalgic, even though it was made like last year. But it just had that vibe, and I loved every minute of it. I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. Very well done.
Okay. Noted. I've been seeing that pop up like in the list of options, and I just kind of been scrolling past it because I didn't know what it was, and it looked like a comedy about ghosts, and I was like, I don't know. But now with your recommendation, I think I will watch it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and it's not scary at all. Because, it's not, it's like Casper scary. Where it's like you
okay.
have a cute little ghost that you kind of like fall in love with. So it's not scary at all. There's slight suspense at the beginning when we don't know what the ghost is, but it's not scary and it's cute. And if you want just a like belly laugh night and you need something to lift your spirits, I recommend it. And that is all my movies.
Since you mentioned Casper and like the movies of the 90s, do you remember at the end of Casper when Devon Sawa showed up and he was just so dreamy? You remember that? I just remember that moment in the movie theater like so clearly. Just all of us like 12-year-old girls being like, "Oh my God, he's so cute." And then he grew up and he wasn't as cute actually as he was when he was like 15.
Don't you hate that? It happens all the time.
That happened to a boy I went to school with, and I cannot mention his name, but I have basically made his name into a verb now. Like he like Richarded out or something because they just. Somebody is attractive when they're younger, and it has become less attractive as they get older. He Richarded out,
Which, it never happens to men. Like, it was always the opposite. Same as James McAvoy. Oh, I had the hots for him in Atonement. Like, oh my God, I would have done anything for him. And then now he's older, and I'm just like, ew.
I never really had a thing for him. What I did love in Atonement was that green dress that Keira Knightley wore. Yes. I wanted that dress. It was just so beautiful. So beautiful. That's what I lusted after in Atonement.
I think Atonement is one of the best movies ever made, so we won't go on that.
Really? Yes. Really? It is a good thing I did not know that before we became friends, because we might not be here today.
Whoa.
Yeah, shots fired. That movie is a piece of crap.
How? It is so the continuous shot scene on the beach, the music, the writing, the cinematography, the acting. How?
No.
I don't take
thumbs down.
No, I don't take your opinion. Listeners, this will be our poll. I need to win. Make sure you vote. Yes, you liked Atonement. I need to win. CJ must go down on this.
I think you need to vote. The only thing good about Atonement was the green dress.
No.
Green dress.
It's so good. Like, it's so well written. It is. The cinematography is mind blowing.
No. Sorry. No.
I cry every time I watch it.
I almost fell asleep a bajillion times the one time I was forced to watch it.
Oh my God, these are fighting words. I seriously, this is good that we have years of a relationship behind us because...
because, again, this might not have gotten off the ground otherwise.
Listeners, the world is lucky because this is fighting words. We must, after this poll, whoever wins the poll, okay?
Which will be
Once
me.
it is done. No, it'll be me. Listeners, you like me more anyway. Once this poll has happened, we will never speak of this again.
True. I don't think our friendship can survive this.
No, because I literally have given it 100 out of 100.
Okay. Well, everybody has their faults, and that apparently is one of yours. And I think we should move on to the other movies that you have watched that you want to tell our listeners about.
Hold on. I have to ask one question.
Okay, fine.
I can't remember your answer to this. Interstellar. Like it or hate it?
I hate it.
Yes! Okay. We can be friends.
It was awful as well. But not as bad as Atonement.
You had to add that in?
Okay, well, I actually can't really say that because I fell asleep during the second half of Interstellar, so I don't know how the second half of the movie actually is, but I bet it's not as bad as Atonement.
No, the second half of the movie is horrible. That's what is his downfall. Yes.
Oh God, I was awake during the good part.
Yes, you were. Okay, we can still be friends because I actually base relationships on whether or not people like Interstellar, and I know that's stupid, but it's true. People I hate liked Interstellar. Okay, moving on. Okay. Sorry, listeners, but please vote. You want to vote yes.
# green dress. Okay, more movies.
I am done. I don't have any TV shows either, so it's all up to you to wrap this up.
Okay, so I will just mention one movie that I watched. It is called The Pope's Exorcist, which came out on Netflix a little while ago. I watched it right when it came out, and it was pretty good. It has Russell Crowe in it, and I think a lot of people will recognize the mom in it from Netflix's Midnight Mass. She played the woman who was like older and then getting younger as the show wore on in Midnight Mass, who was ended up having the affair with the priest or whatever. Which I just apparently now I gave away a spoiler for Midnight Mass, so sorry everybody. But Pope's Exorcist was good. I did not personally find it scary. Kate, you would find it very scary, but I did not because I've just seen a lot of scary movies, particularly Exorcist movies. This one gets a little over the top theatrical toward the end with the special effects and stuff like that, and I prefer more low key exorcism movies like The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I think is an excellent example. Something I really did like in it, though, is the incorporation of the Spanish Inquisition into the storyline. I won't go too much into that, but I thought it was a nice spin on a very played out trope of exorcist stuff. And yeah, so if you're looking for a good scary movie this season, I recommend The Pope's Exorcist.
Awesome. You are a resident scary movie person. So
Yes, I am.
which I still cannot wait for the hand one to come out.
The
I
hand.
forget what it's called. Yeah, the dog. We have the issue with the dog. In the
Oh,
preview.
yes. The hand.
I
Talk
just-
to me. That's it.
Yes. I can't wait for that to
Yes.
come on streaming because I'm dying to know what you
Yes.
think. Because I'll never watch it.
And I am totally excited for The Fall of the House of Usher coming out, I think this
Yes.
month. And A Haunting in Venice definitely coming out this month.
Okay, so Fall of the House of Usher, we already have our date set up to binge it, so don't talk to me. We're going to binge it in one night.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
I already have that lined up. I am so excited so we can both talk about that one. And
Okay.
I might break down and see A Haunting in Venice.
Yes, you should. I don't think it's going to be that scary.
And if I have nightmares, can I call you?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I will talk you off the ledge. Yes. It's Hercule Poirot for crying out loud. How scary can it really be?
The trailers do me in.
Okay, if the trailer was enough to turn you off, you may be best watching it at home with the sun streaming through your windows.
Yes, exactly. But Fall of the House of Usher looks amazing. I cannot
Yes.
wait. We will
Totally.
have to talk about that on the podcast. I know this one ran super long, friends. We try to keep it short to 30 minutes when it's not book club. I apologize. We just had so much to talk about in our
So
debate.
much.
So make sure you comment below the books that you've read. Let's start a discussion. Vote on the poll. And don't
Yes.
forget that this month's book club is Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey, I believe. So give it a listen. And I'm going to sign off now. Bye, friends.
Bye, everybody. #green dress.